It has a lot of farms in it still, so it's pretty quiet. It's not densely populated, and for an artist who likes to be outside and in the woods, that's very appealing.
Hillsborough County is still split between urban and rural. I think there are other counties in the state that are predominantly one or the other, but I think we've got a good mix.
An unusual mix might better describe New Hampshire's Hillsborough County. Its eastern edge is home to the state's two largest cities, but just 15 miles west are farms, rolling hills, even old-growth forest. And right in the middle is one of the county's most appealing towns, New Boston.
In the mid-1700s, the colonial governor granted land here to a group of families from Boston, hence the name. Today, with a population of just over 5,000 and only 30 minutes from the state's largest city, New Boston remains remarkably rural without a lot of outward change. Most of the folks here are just fine with that.
This town has stayed pretty unspoiled. People who live here because they want to live here. They like the atmosphere.
New Boston resident and state representative David Woodbury moved here with his wife in 1970. I was pretty sure he'd be just the guy to lead us to a somewhat hidden local landmark. After all, it had once been a tourist attraction for some of the area's old summer hotels, and now it was just ahead of us in the woods.
Oh, I see it. The famous Frog Rock.
Okay, it's not the Great Stone Face, but you have to admit,
it does look like a frog. I will give you that.
a century ago, Frog Rock was a lot more visible.
This was all a pasture.
Now it's a little bit off the beaten path.
Substantially off the beaten path, yes.
Truthfully, much of New Boston feels a bit off the beaten path. There's Dodge's store at the center of it all, but otherwise,
it's a little more remote than some of the other towns.
Not that there hasn't been any new development here. In fact, the most significant one put New Boston on the map globally.
Taking advantage of the rock outcropping of Joe English Hill, New Boston Air Force Station was created during World War II as a bombing practice area. In the 1960s, it was turned into a satellite tracking station, turning Little New Boston overnight into a potential first-strike target in a nuclear exchange.
I suppose if some hostile power wanted to cripple our satellite communication system, the New Boston tracking station would be a place to hit with a nuclear weapon.
Not that anyone around here expects that, mind you. On the other hand, there are some over the years who've taken precautions just the same.
I don't know the owner who actually built it, but I do know two people that actually worked on it back in 1980. 1980, middle of the Cold War, the USSR has their eyes firmly set on the New Boston Air Force tracking station.
Do you see a house here? Exactly. Because the New Boston house that Brian and Becky LeBlanc fell in love with is part house, part bunker, and almost entirely underground.
Everything from here to here, about 18 inches, is steel reinforced concrete from the floor all the way up to the peak.
So it's more than 1.5 feet of concrete.
Yeah.
Making up the door jamb.
Right.
The interior is octagon shaped, where we also met the family's talkative parrot.
This guy was designing for double duty, right? It was holding up the ground above, but also he was thinking about maybe a nuclear blast.
That's what it looks like.
While the LeBlancs save a lot of money on energy, there are some downsides.
We get delivery people or the kids' friends' parents to come pick them up, and they'll get in the driveway and they can't find the house. They think we live in the shed, and they turn around and leave because they can't find the house.
Call it underground New Boston, but just down the street, another house you won't easily find. That's the roof of Ellen Campbell and David Eli's house.
As soon as we say that it's underground, they all scratch their heads a little bit and think, do you have windows?
There are some windows and a surprising amount of natural heat and light, which was the whole idea behind wedging a V-shaped house into a New Hampshire hillside back in 1971.
We're fossil fuel free since 2008. I wouldn't live above ground anymore. It's 13 below and we can have doors open and maintain 75 degrees. And in the summertime it stays cool.
Which David and Ellen have taken full advantage of with one of their many hobbies.
It's cooler, you can feel it.
Yeah. It's an ideal temperature and it's an ideal humidity for making wine, so
it's a great excuse.
This is what we got, so this is what we do.
Fuel efficient, underground, yet with a two-car garage, What it may lack in windows, it sure makes up for in uniqueness.
So, David, you may be one of the few people on the face of the earth who can honestly say, I could fall off my roof mowing the lawn.
Yes,
True.
absolutely.
Right?
We have to be very careful about that.
So you may be wondering why more people aren't choosing to build underground homes given the ability to live fossil fuel free. Ted says besides the aesthetics, these homes are actually on average more expensive to build. There are long-term savings to be realized, but the upfront costs can be a hurdle. Coming up, Ted finds two of his favorite things, a rail trail and, of course, a diner.